What's good, Raider Nation? After a 4-13 record last year, will the Raiders be able to turn the 2025 season around? Will they be able to make a push for the playoffs? They have new leadership, new coaching, and solid draft picks. We want to hear from you, so let's talk about it.
Monday Night Madness is where your voice takes the mic. This platform is for the dysfunctionally passionate Raider fan to provide their overreactive analysis, provide their emotional persuasiveness, and a chance to be grossly opinionated. When you take the mic, your hot take doesn't necessarily reflect the beliefs of all of Raider Nation or of this show. There might be cussing, arguing, and fans appearing on camera that aren't camera ready. Everyone is welcome to take the mic and join the madness.
If there's anything we've ever done that I'm particularly proud of, I would have to say that the perpetuation of the greatness of the Raiders, to take a professional football team and give it a distinct characteristic that's different from all others.
I think this journey is the most special because there's not a lot of people that have the opportunity playing in high school and college and then pro and then being injured and then starting coaching as a young coach.
Can portray me any way they want because I don't give a damn. I am what I am, and until those people touch me close enough, they'll never know what I am. If they want to see me in this interview or in a newspaper article and say, what's the matter with this guy? Let them say it. But don't you analyze me and don't you tell me what I am until you get close enough to understand what I am. Then you can make an analysis of me. But don't you dare do it until that.
Clicked in my mind that if you just run through somebody's face, a lot of people ain't gonna be able to take that over and 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 over. Run through a motherfucker face.
The mental side of the game is taking me to the next level, and it's true confidence. It's feeding your brain elite of elite. And that's, I always talk about 1% and more is required. And I always say these things, but it's what I live. I see it everywhere I go because you have to constantly train your mind for greatness.
What is up, y'all?
There are some very outspoken Raiders right there, and we want to hear from all of you. Thanks for joining us. We've got our co-hosts with me, Omar and Scotty Waddy, Raider One. What's up, fellas?
What is up? I love that part where Al Davis says give a professional football team a distinctive characteristic. Man, I think Pete Carroll is one.
There's definitely a stigma when it comes to the Raiders. Yeah, that's interesting. I want to bring that up a little bit later, too. Talk about how the culture of the Raiders has shifted just a little bit. Now, remember, this is the show where we want to hear from you. You can appear on camera with us, and if you're camera shy or if you aren't camera ready, you can still use this link to join us. Just turn your camera off, but we'd love to see you, so keep your camera on. We have a special guest with us that's going to join our show backstage for the entire show. We'll introduce him in just a minute, but I want to say what's up to some of these commenters here. Space Beast, LFG Spicy. I'm going to try to LFG for you, Space Beast. Raider Ryan, what's good? April, always in the building. What's good, girl? She says Spicy, Scotty, and Omar. I hear it like she's yelling out Raiders right there. Fishing Game, what's good? A longtime member of this show. Thank you so much for being a member. Raider Travis in the building.
What's up, Travis?
Who am I with the intro, Spicy? What do you mean? What do you mean? And Mother Moon always in the building. And of course, we are going to have a friend of the show join us today for the entirety of this show. You've seen him on our draft shows, and you've also seen him on Couch GMs. We are going to welcome Arthur's in the building. What's good, Arthur?
Wow.
We good. Thanks for joining us. Happy to have you here and happy to hear your insights about everything. Today we are talking about the Raiders and will they improve this year? Go ahead, Omar.
Well, before you went further, and Space Beast was saying TMI with the intro. Space Beast, come on the show and tell us more about this. I mean, you say something like that in the comments, man. I'm just saying, come talk to us about it. I need more details.
He said it was a lot to read. That's why I did the voiceover for you. You didn't have to read it.
Reading is fundamental.
Yeah.
He wants immediate gratification. Come on. He wants that immediate gratification.
I know, right? All right, so what do you guys think? Okay, let's talk about this season. And we want to hear from you commenters too. Comment, use the link. Come on, spread your mind. Are we drinking the Kool-Aid? Are the Raiders going to improve this year? I think they have to improve. How do you not improve from 4-13? But how much of that Kool-Aid are we going to drink? Are we thinking and just an improvement in record? Are we thinking a playoff run? Dare we say a Super Bowl push? I mean, let's settle down. I'll start with you, Optimistic Omar. How do you think this season's going to turn around?
I'm drinking so much Kool-Aid, I stopped using sugar. I had to put in Splenda because my diabetes was just going through the roof. So I'm a Kool-Aid factory. We're going to see tremendous improvement. Playoff push. I think it's going to be fun watching Carroll versus Harbaugh. I just think there's so many things to get excited for this coming season. I got my number one draft pick. I wanted Ashton Jeanty. I think the running game is going to be crazy. So yeah, I think Geno Smith, who has been improving, is going to improve again and take another step up. So I guess my only question mark is, and I think it's going to be fun watching this group of receivers develop as we got a couple of new guys in here that I think are going to give us some immediate impact, but there's just some question on how that impact is going to unfold, what's going to happen to Trey Tucker. So anyway, I don't want to take, because I know Scotty and Arthur got their thing too, and like I say, I got a lot of Kool-Aid. You can come back around to me and I'll still be adding more Splenda. So so anyway, I'm pumped.
All right, Scotty, you want to go next?
Like I put on the screen, the needle has moved. I definitely think that we've taken some very positive strides forward. I don't think we took small steps. I think we took some at least medium steps forward. I don't think we're going to go 17-0. I'm not sure if a Super Bowl is necessarily in our close future here, and at least our very near future. But I think, as I've said, I think a couple times now on the show since we started this new season, I think we have some professionals in the building. I think some professionals are in the front office, and I think that's a great move forward, and it might be the best move forward with the new regime on the field and with the new regime off the field, or in the front office, I should say. So I think there's some really great strides forward. Geno Smith, there's a report out there that says that Pete Carroll he vetoed Brady and said he didn't want to take Shedeur because he didn't want Geno Smith looking over his shoulder. That's a lot of confidence.
Vetoed Brady. So you're saying Brady wanted him?
Well, I
don't think I heard that. So you're saying Brady wanted Shedeur and Carroll put the kibosh on it, huh?
That's what the report said.
Okay.
What part of that's true? Hey, I don't know. But at the end of the day, that's a huge confidence builder for Geno Smith, and I don't think Geno Smith has I think there was some stat out there about he's never had a less than 10 game wins in a season while he was a starter. Okay. I mean, to answer the question, are we going to improve? I mean, you really can't get worse. So, well, you wouldn't think anyways, but I think the needle has moved. I like the moves that we've made so far.
Not a huge vote of confidence I'm not hearing from you there, Scotty, but it's okay. Arthur?
So I'm probably more on the Scotty train than I am the Omar train. I mean, I agree. I think that we have gotten better. And I think that's what we need to do is continue to get better. I agree. I think Geno Smith's going to win us a lot more games than he's going to lose us. There's still some moves and still some players out there in free agency that I think that could come in and really help us. If not, like I said, if it just help the rooms that they're in. I mean, I think Keenan Allen could help our wide receiver room. I think Justin Simmons could help our defensive backs room. So there's a couple of free agents out there that we could probably still pick up at a reasonable price that could come in and even make us even better. But I definitely like the direction that we're heading. I would say, I mean, I'm seeing some of the comments, the floor, they're saying 7 games. Some people are saying 17-0. I think the floor is probably about 7 games. That's about right. And I think the ceiling is probably somewhere around 10 to 11 wins. So
I believe we
well,
have.
that's a big improvement, 10 or 11 wins.
Really.
So the Raiders are projected right now to have, you spoke of it, Arthur, to have $36.8 million in salary cap space for the 2025 season, according to the overall cap. So yeah, they still do definitely have some money to make some moves there. So they can pick up some players as well. I think they're going to improve. They have to improve. I mean, 4 games is pathetic. Let's be honest. 4 games, that's like, is that even like real football? Is that professional football? For the past 3 years, I think I have predicted that the Raiders were fighting for 3rd place at best. Right? Do I see them taking the division? No. Do I see them now maybe fighting for 2nd place instead of 3rd? Yes. That's kind of where I see the Raiders falling. I can see them at least. I would hope that they can at least double their wins. I see them. They can split with a couple teams in the division. Maybe all 3 teams in the division, really, at least. And yeah, it has to get better. I mean, there's the power rankings went. They went up a little bit, but not a lot, and it surprised me. I think with the moves the Raiders make, mostly we talked about this, Scotty, I kind of cut myself off there, but Scotty, we've talked about the problem with the Raiders kind of being an organizational issue overall. It seems like they've really tightened that up this offseason. They've really tightened up their decision making, their thoughtfulness, and their draft picks, their personnel that they're bringing in, and to me, that is just that alone, that foundation that they're building, I think, is going to just make strides in the amount of games won. Do I think they're going to make a Super Bowl run? No, I don't. But I think they're definitely going to improve. And dare I even say, make the playoffs as a wild card, as maybe a wild card.
I said playoff push. I did say that. So yeah.
If you really think about the years past, we've got a coach in that says, I'm going to do this and I'm going to change this and I'm going to go here and I'm going to go there. Nobody said that this year. They went out and they got the players that they needed and that they wanted, and it looked like they have a direction with what they chose. I mean, we've got what average height wide receiver is like 6'4". So I'm going to be exaggerating or something like that, but that was a clear direction that we're going. They went out and got a rugby player out here. So
Lufalaki? What is his name? Lassie? What is his name? Tassi?
Something like that. So is there a direction? Yeah, there's a direction. And it's being backed up by the front office, not just hoorah here and there and hyping up the crowd and stuff like that. And I'm not knocking anybody for that, because I understand that needs to be done. So, but they've put their money where their mouth is. You at least got to say that. So I'm hoping that by the end of this season, we can say, damn, we made some strides. Let's plug this hole and this hole, and then let's shore up this a little bit more. And we really got something for next season.
Well, and I think Pete Carroll says it best. The word that they're using, and I've been hearing a lot in the offseason, is compete. And that's all I want to do this year, is just make sure we're competing.
Definitely.
All right, you know what that sound means? That means we have somebody that is ready to take the mic and join the madness. So we want to invite our friend of the show, AK. Welcome. We're going to give you center stage here, because we want to hear your opinion on what you think the Raiders' 2025 season will look like. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you for the invite. Thank you for having me. Omar, Arthur, Scotty, good to see you guys. Everyone in the chat, how are we going? So the question was what are my expectations for the season?
Basically.
Yep.
Yeah, what are your expectations for this season? Are you seeing the Raiders making a significant turnaround here?
I'm going to stay optimistic. Look, we've been through this song and dance so many times before. Look, it all looks good on paper, and I'm happy with the moves so far. So I'm willing to give them time to show progression. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, I personally expect this to be a transitional season. You know what I mean? And I'm okay with that as long as we're trending upwards and show that we have hope for the future. If we can be more than that right from the rip, fantastic. You know what I'm saying? So that's my long story short. Like, we're going to need to expect big jumps from our second, third year players that are still yet to establish themselves. We're going to need big jumps right from the rip from the rookies that we just drafted, as well as everything else to work out, especially at the quarterback position and, all that. Like, can our marquee players like Malcolm Kuntz and Max Crosby on the defensive line, can they stay healthy throughout the season? That's also going to be a heavy reliance. So there's a lot of factors that come into play. Hopefully it all works out and we can be better than what I personally expect right from the rip. Hey, if we're winning, that's fantastic, right? But that's my answer. I'm going to stay in hold fast mode for now. Like, just see how we go. All I expect is just trending upwards, even if it's just a little bit. I'm good with that. I'm willing to give the regime time.
Yes.
How many wins? How many wins, boss man? Come on, say it. How many wins?
I hate doing that, but if you're gonna put me on the spot, 7-9.
7-9.
7-9.
Okay.
7-9. That's my range.
7-9 wins. Okay, 7-9 wins. All right.
I think that's reasonable.
Do you think would you be satisfied with that?
Yes, like I said, as long as we're showing that we're trending upwards, remember in 2015 where we came off a season where we had 3-4 wins, you know what I'm saying? But 2015 was Jack Del Rio's first season, and while we didn't make the playoffs, that was the start of building towards 2016 where we made we could have and should have gone further had what happened not happened, right? So that's what I am expecting this year is, look, just show us enough to be faithful that we're heading in the right direction. And then hopefully we can get there year 2 and year 3 to where we want to be.
I think you brought up a good point, speaking of injuries, because Wilkins is in that group. He was our surprise offseason acquisition last year. And then what game was he gone by? 4, 5?
5, yeah.
I think Kuntz was gone in game 2. I mean, and to me, having 2 starters right there on the line, and then we know Crosby was hurt early on too, but kept playing through the injury. That hurt the season. Yeah. And I think you brought up a really good point with those question marks on those players on how they're going to start off. I mean, because we saw Colton Miller. He was healthy, but he was recovering from an injury, and he had an extremely slow start. So, I poured out a little Kool-Aid when you mentioned that, because it did bring me down to reality and say, oh, damn, remember Miller getting blown up in the beginning of the season? Because, coming back from injury. So that is a thing, man. That is a thing. Good call out.
But with actually, Kuntz was actually hurt right from the rip. He didn't even play a game.
Yeah,
okay. I knew.
I think it was in preseason. He didn't even play, but it's more further to my point. But also, before the draft, we still had plenty of holes, which we did address for the most part via the draft process. But it's a little unfair to be relying on the draft for we need 4 or 5 players to be starters and good starters right from the jump. You know what I'm saying? That's. I hope that happens, but it's kind of unfair to expect that, you know what I mean? And that's going to be key to how successful our season's going to go per se. So, like I said, that's my expectation. Just show that we're trending upwards, and I'm okay with that year 1.
Yeah, no, I
so there's some comments here saying, that some people, we have difference of opinion of the Chargers. Jack Long says the Chargers are stacked. It pains me. We have Rodrigo. Welcome to the show. Oh, that's not the one. He says the opposite. The Chargers are soft. So where do you guys think? Who's our biggest competition this year in the AFC West? Do you think that the Chiefs are on top? They've been on top, so they're always going to be the one to beat. But who is really the toughest competition? Were the Broncos just a fluke?
No, I say all of
Chiefs would be being that, look, they've been making perennial Super Bowls and deep playoff runs for the last 6 years. So until proven otherwise, as much as it pains me to say it, it's still the Chiefs League and Chiefs Conference until somebody takes it from them. Hopefully it can be us, right?
Right.
Yeah. But I think our division is now. We've heard this before, but I think the AFC West is the toughest division. I think the Chargers got better. I think Denver's got better. And just as he said, KC has been killing it. And, I don't think they've declined enough to not still be, the team to beat in the AFC West. So, but I just think all of them, though. I think We all play each other hard. I think I look at who the Chargers drafted. We drafted the number one running back. I believe the Chargers drafted the number 2 running back, Hampton. So I just think it's going to be tough. I think each division game is going to be extremely tough, and it's going to be a chess match. Look at the minds of these 4 head coaches. So, hey, man, grab your popcorn.
Yeah.
Who was it that mentioned Lucky Tassi?
That's an interesting point, Omar. We haven't talked a lot about the head coaches. What's that?
Yeah. They're a factor.
Sorry, I was asking just real quickly. Who was it who mentioned Lucky Tassi, the defensive tackle?
Oh, I was saying that we got the rugby player.
Oh, yeah. He's actually Samoan Australian, just like myself. So
I was going to ask you about him because
was he a monster on the rugby field?
What's that? Sorry.
Was he a monster on the rugby field?
Never watched him play.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be able to answer that. Did you want to know how I felt about that, Scotty?
Sure. Yeah.
Look, I'm proud of the guy. I'm happy for the guy. I'm going to be rooting for the guy. At the same time, look, like these international player program players, like they're project players. They're going to be sitting at least 2 years, maybe longer than that. We've got David Agoha who's been on our roster for 3 years and hasn't seen the field yet. So, like, while I'm proud and I'm happy for the guy and I'm rooting for the guy, I'm not. My expectations are very low until proven otherwise. Until he gets on the field and does something, then hey, I'll be the first one to buy his jersey, even if it's just something. You know what I mean? But until then, you know, these project players, we haven't really had the best history of late when it comes to project players. You know what I'm saying? So
all our turnover, you never.
Yeah.
It's hard for anybody to grow on our field, on our team when you got new regimes every other season. But hey, I got a quick question because I haven't paid that much attention to these international players. Have any of them on any team went off? Has done well?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
exactly to my point. You're gonna have to think about it. So look, expectations should be very low with these international player programs. Hopefully he can be the first one who pans out. Or David Agoha. I saw some things in preseason, I think last year or the year before, where he actually got a sack, and it's just like, wow, for a guy who's never played the game to already come in the league and do that, I can see potential being there. But until they do something in the regular season, it's like,
yeah. Now, do you have doubts about them being international players since they're new to NFL speed football, or do you think it's the transition from something like rugby to football that you have more of a problem with?
Well, they're coming up against, I don't doubt the athleticism. I mean, I'll give you an example. So about, I think, when was it, 2016 or 2015, there was a star rugby player over here who had played at the international level, who went on and I think he signed as an undrafted free agent with San Francisco. His name was Jared Hayne. He was a running back / returner. I don't know if you remember him.
Yes.
He made the final roster, but then he didn't do anything. He was cut shortly thereafter. So I don't doubt the athleticism being world-class with these guys, but they're coming up against guys who've been playing the game their whole life. The best of the best. You know what I'm saying? So it's a tough task and a tall order for them to come in and outplay these guys to make a roster, or even when they do things on the field against guys who are the elite of the elite, best of the best at your guys' one of your guys' national sports. So, there is that. I'm hoping he can do something, or any of these guys can do something, but until they do. Yeah.
Now, educate me a little bit on this. He's coming from a professional rugby team from out there, right?
Right.
So in rugby, he's professional in his craft there.
I think so. I believe he was a professional rugby player. I'm not too sure. I don't know if he made it to an elite level or the actual pro level.
Okay.
Cool. I'm rooting on him. Let's hope he does something.
Yeah.
I said, if he does something, I will be the first one to buy his jersey.
Right, because he sounds like an Al Davis height weight speed guy, which we saw Carroll take some height weight speed guys. So I'm like, hey, well, maybe these guys have, hey, if you can do that one thing really, really well and effective, and they can create some plays so that you can go do that one thing really, really effective that helps the team, let's do it. So
right,
we'll see.
Yeah.
And he's playing defensive tackle, so put him in there. Hey, go kill that guy.
Right.
Well,
I can actually, now that I think about it,
how did the
You broke up.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you broke up, Spicy. What was that?
Sorry, sorry, you go. Yeah, my bad.
No, go ahead. AK, go ahead.
I was just going to say real quickly, I think the guy, now that I think about it, that tackle who was drafted by Philly, I think he was a project guy who they turned into a tackle, and he actually turned out to be a great player for them. So I think that's one.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. I mean,
No, I just wanted to ask you, how do the skills translate or transfer from one sport to the next? Obviously, I've seen a little bit of rugby. I'm not super familiar with the game, but how, from your fan, how do you see the skills translating?
Well, there are aspects of the game that can translate over. I mean, we've done it before, I guess, when you think about it, like with a lot of, remember back in the 90s and the 80s, how many former track stars we were bringing in, Olympians, and they actually came on and did things. You're looking at the James Jetts of the world, and all the other examples where the names escape me, but that's my point. Like, it can be done. But in terms of like former rugby players, I mean, the tackling aspect is there, the physical aspect is there, but it's not just about that, and that's where the downfall was with, say, a Jared Hayne. Like, there's more to American football. Like, there's the understanding of the game, the technicalities to it, the IQ side of it, which they're going to have to be brought up to speed against, like I said, players who have made it to the elite level, have been doing it their whole life. So it's a tough.
Are we gonna have to explain to them?
It's a tough transition.
Chop blocks and blocks in the back. You can't do all that stuff. Are we gonna have to explain some of the rules?
No, but the tackling aspect is there. I guess the easiest transition, and Jake brought up a good point, is the players that and there's been a lot more of late. Like, there's actually a big thing about it with college, like where I think there's a lawsuit going on where a lot of Australian football players are being taken from over here and transitioning over to the punter position. So that's a pretty easy transition because that's all you need to do, right? Is kick a freaking ball. Yeah. And that's something that's our national sport, is kicking a football, which is similar to an American football. So that's probably the easiest position for, say, someone at the elite level over here to transition over to American football and make something of themselves. The other positions, it's, there's a lot more than just like, you need to go out there and tackle a guy, right? Or run the ball.
Sure.
Okay.
Very interesting. I need to watch a little rugby. That's what I'm hearing right now. That I need to watch a little rugby now. Alrighty.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Is there anything else you wanted to say about how you think the Raiders will do this season? They made improvement. I think you said they made improvements overall. You're not fully drinking the Kool-Aid or fully optimistic, but you're hopeful they can get at least 7 or 9. Any other thoughts?
No, look, just be ready to just, like, we got to be patient. You know what I mean? Like, it may not happen overnight. You know what I'm saying? I hope so. I really do. I want us to be where we want to be right from the jump, but it might take some time. So just sit tight, nation, buckle up, because it might be another case of here we go again, but we'll see. Anyways, thanks for having me on.
I agree with you. And I don't think just really quickly, I don't think it'll be another case of here we go again, but I think it is going to take time. I don't think this is going to be a quick overnight fix. This is going to take the 2-3 seasons or something like that, which is why I also hope the Raiders see these decisions through. Let this coach have some years. Let this general manager have some years. Let this quarterback have some years. Like, let's finally see a plan, come out and be what we want it to be, or what at least the coach is going to be. I think the hardest part for us as fans, but even the players too, is to watch this just get broken down and rebuilt every single year. We're never going to get ahead that way. So in that aspect, yes, I think we definitely have to be patient. Well, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me on. Yeah. Look, all I want is even just a little bit. Like I will find it unacceptable if it's been like how it's been the last couple of years, where it's been nothing but going down. You know what I'm saying? Like, give us some hope that the future is going to be bright. We will get to where we want to be. If it has to be in time, so be it. But anyways, thanks for having me on. Take care, gang. Go Raiders.
All right. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you. Good night. Or good morning. Actually, it's probably good morning for him. Jay Jackson was good, a member of the channel. We appreciate you. He said, hey, all listening from work, please like, subscribe, and share. Raider Nation for life. Navajo on the go. Yes. Chris, another friend of our show. Make sure to subscribe to his channel as well. Chris for Raiders podcast. Thank you for being a member. Salute Nation and panel. Salute to you as well. Alpha and Omega forever. Where you been hiding, Spicy? Haven't seen you in months. I know, we're back. We are back. We are officially in, what are we in, season 3 now of the Monday Night Madness, and season 4 of the Spicy Shield Talk. You can catch us at 6 o'clock there as well. Mother Moon, she's doing good. She is always backstage, and she's backstage on the Spicy Shield Talk. So yes, thank you for missing us, and we appreciate being back, and we appreciate having you here. We have another friend of the show backstage. Her comments didn't look super optimistic, so we're going to let her tell us what she thinks the Raiders 2025 season will look like. Welcome to the show, April. How's it goes? With one finger wave.
I don't know. Hi. I'm just saying, listen, like I said it before, last year, like I said in my comment, this was the same narrative last year. The same energy, the same this, that, and the other. And here we are again today.
Yep.
And guess what? I'm here to tell you.
Yep.
Don't expect shit from the fucking Raiders this year. Don't expect it. Don't expect it. You can be optimistic. But don't expect shit. Okay.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Are you saying that because of Geno Smith? You admit bias because of Geno Smith?
50% saying that. No, I'm sorry. Wait, I take that back. I'm saying that 79.8% because of Geno Smith. Yes, absolutely. I do not think. Listen, I don't. It's great to be a Raider fan. It's great to be optimistic. It's great to say, oh yeah, we got this. Oh, we got Pete Carroll. Oh, then we got Geno Smith. No, absolutely not. No. And you know what? Hey, listen. If he proves me wrong, I'll be back on here to be humble. That's fine. But as a Raider fan of I don't know how many years and how many crap we've had to go through, no, Geno Smith is not the answer. He's not. I'm not saying Aiden O'Connell's the answer. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is this Geno Smith thing is a Raiders thing. It's an answer. Pete Carroll is an answer.
April, indulge me for a second. I want to play a game with you, a hypothetical. I want to know what your record for the Raiders is with Geno Smith as it stands. And then I want you to give me a record of what you think it would be. Everything the same, but AOC at the helm. I need 2 records from you. 30 seconds, you're on the clock.
Wait a minute. You want a record with Geno Smith and with AOC?
Yep.
Well, first of all, it's not
verse.
Fair because AOC,
one versus the other.
Hold up. AOC hasn't gotten any kind of season. Period. He's gotten thrown in here, there, and there because the Raiders need him. Period.
I'm talking about this season coming up.
What?
I'm talking about this season coming up.
He's basically asking, do you think the Raiders would have a better record with AOC? That's basically what he's getting at.
Is probably AOC might win 2 or 3 more games than Geno. That's my pick. I'm sorry. You know what? Y'all can think what you want, but guess what?
No, that's fine.
How many wins is that? When you say 2 or 3 more, how many wins total are we talking with AOC versus Geno?
Okay, if you wanted to give AOC the start, which isn't fair because he hasn't had a full season.
Give him a full season. Give him the reins. How many wins are we?
Okay, AOC comes in. Oh shit, maybe 7. Geno, give him 5. And I'm gonna say it like this: after 3 starts, they're gonna fucking say, "Oh, you know what? Let's put in AOC for a second." Guarantee that shit. Guarantee.
You don't pay Geno Smith and give him an extension to put in AOC. I mean, I disagree with that. But let me ask you this:
Right.
you say same old narrative, same old narrative. Were you more optimistic this year after the draft or last year after the draft?
I'm never optimistic as a Raider fan. Okay. What I'm saying is, let me tell you something. Wait,
PTSD, Raiders PTSD.
Literally, when the draft came out, I literally I had to be somewhere at a certain time, and literally I made it to this place at the time that the Raiders picked. I walked into this building and I'm like, "What's the pick at?" They're like, "Raiders are picking." I'm like, "Oh my god, please pick Gianti." Gianti, what the fuck ever. Pick him, please, because we do need a running back. And the Raiders actually
found something we agree on.
They actually did something smart. Okay.
I know, right?
Amen. Work with it. Let's go. Okay. Now, okay, I can't even, like, I don't know college, so I'm sorry. I don't, but I'm hoping with Ashton, we do something. I've seen his film because I did watch it. He looks like a beast. He's built like a beast. We have a potential in the running back. Yes, absolutely. Quarterback, okay, whatever. Okay, Pete Carroll comes in and they decide, oh, we want to relive Pete Carroll's dream in Seattle. No, I'm not a fan of it. But that's just me. And people can say what they want and people can judge me all they want. But in the end of the day, I know there's been a couple seasons where I've called it and Scotty's called it and we've called it. Scotty, you can't even deny it. I'm just saying, I don't feel it. I don't feel Geno Smith a Raider, but I'm going to give the guy a shot. I'm not saying no, but I just this season is up in the air. It's up in the air.
I think one of the things people forget about is system. If you think about Andy Reid, he's had his system in Philly. It's a winning system. He brought his system to Kansas City. It's a winning system. Pete Carroll has a winning system. And you got to think, last year,
as well.
we did not have a proven winning system. And I think we don't give enough credit to that. You look at what old guy's doing over in Denver. You know, he had a system in New Orleans. He won with that system. He's going to implement it in Denver. These aren't things that don't exist. These are things that exist. They're very real. We've watched them. We watched them win with them. And we look at the pieces that Carroll is bringing in to build his system. We know what it looks like already. We know he won. He would have won too if they would have just freaking handed the ball off. I bet he won't. I bet he won't make that. Yeah. I bet he's not gonna make that mistake again. Gianti will get that ball on the in the red zone in the Super Bowl. And I think that's a part of the formula that has me so hyped. The reason why I wanted Carroll in the offseason when we were looking at him, he's too old. I'm like, I want that system. That system wins. And this guy can still run that system. So I think when you give that in, and I cannot make the argument between Geno Smith and AOC because I'm just going to say Geno Smith is more proven than AOC, and we know he can win in that system. That's all I'm going to say. Now, could he be the greatest of all time? No, I'm not going to say that. All I'm saying is Geno Smith can win in Pete Carroll's system. And he's got, in my mind, already more weapons than he was playing around with last year. So that makes it even more exciting.
And I hear you.
Yeah,
Pete
all
Carroll
great
says,
points, Omar.
But guess what? We're not in Seattle anymore. We're in Vegas, motherfucker.
Sure.
And guess what?
That's why I make the point where people move their system and still win.
Everybody else. So, do I think they're gonna use Pete Carroll's system? No.
So wait, April, let me ask you this. So then where more is your problem? Is your problem more with Geno Smith? Is it more with Pete Carroll? Or where do you think that the needle hasn't moved?
The problem is with Mark Davis.
Or can I just elaborate that on that too? Do you just think that it's just going to take time? It's just going to take more than 1 year? Or are you just not sold on this at all? Just to kind of elaborate on piggyback off Scotty's question.
honestly, I don't know. I really don't. Pete Carroll's fucking 73. Does he got 2 more years? I don't fucking know. Like, okay, if he does, great, cool, good for him, because he's old as fuck. But
Beastman said he still got that. He still got that pep. He's like, hey, he's still the same, man. He's still on that shit like he was in Seattle, man. According to old boy, we in good hands.
I'm not mad at it. Listen, I just want to reiterate, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at anything. What I just don't understand certain aspects of what the Raiders are doing. I just don't. For me, it's a different mindset. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I feel that like it's just weird. It's weird to me. I mean, okay, cool, Pete Carroll, yeah, yay, woo. Okay, fucking Patriot, fucking
who would you have chosen as a head coach?
Oh, okay. We're again, we're being the Raiders. That's what we're doing. Because if it wasn't a coach, it was a player, it was multiple players, because that's what the Raiders do. The Raiders get players that just they think they got this glorious year. They have this glorious couple of years that, oh, they could do this, they could do that. So I don't know. I don't know. Am I a Raider?
Well, I hear what you're saying in that aspect, and it looks like you kind of like lost your trust in what the Raiders have done. But I do think that this year, from what I've seen, they are seemingly making better decisions, and they do seem like they are more thoughtful in their decision-making process and in their draft process. But we do want to get to some of these comments here, April, so we thank you for joining. We appreciate you. Answer this one last question for Arthur before we let you off. He wanted to know, Arthur asked, if you didn't hear him, who you would have wanted for head coach over Pete Carroll.
Oh, dude. Fucking bring back Jack Del Rio. Fuck everybody else.
Del Rio?
Okay. All right, girl.
Coordinator and fire him when he's doing well. That was his downfall. That's the only question. I like Del Rio as well, but that was his big downfall. He should never have fought with old boy who was the offensive coordinator who got us in the playoffs.
We need to relive 2016.
There was a lot of downfall.
And you know what? It was what was the name? The fucking offensive coordinator that kept Carr in the. You know what? I'm not going to relive that. Anyways. Raiders are gonna go. I'm gonna end this. Raiders are gonna be
prediction. Nice.
5, maybe 6.
Oh, April, you know how to hurt a guy.
Y'all can come back at me.
Well, hey, that's only like one more than everyone else has been saying, or one less than everyone else has been saying.
No, but everybody. Okay, well, to your point though, April, is there a high end as well? That's your low end. What's your high end? Everybody seemed to go a low one and a high one. Like, here's the, but what's the high? What's the most games they could win?
6. That's my high.
So, okay, everybody went higher than you. So, come on, April.
You're at 6. All right, April.
Next year.
Thank you for joining us, girl.
Oh, April was crazy, but I'm not crazy. But okay, love y'all. Have a good night. See you.
All right, girl. Thank you.
And
Yes.
Bye. Speaking of May 14th, we are going to combine our shows. We are going to not have a Monday Night Madness show next Monday, but we are going to combine our shows. We're going to do the Spicy Shield Talk on Wednesday, and the cast of this show will be joining us over there because that is May 14th. That is the day that the schedule is going to be out. So we're going to do a schedule release prediction show like we always do. So to make sure to tune in next Wednesday on May 14th, Spicy Shield Talk, we are going to give our predictions game by game. Let's go ahead and get in, and that obviously Chris, my co-host on that show, will join us. Hopefully all these gentlemen of this cast will join us too, and everyone in the comments. Let's go into some of these comments while AK and April were on. We had some good comments come through. I think we talked about this on the show, or maybe it was the other one. I don't remember. But any interest in Amari Cooper? I say pass.
0.
Short answer, pass.
Depending on the deal. I'm not gonna lie. Depending on the deal, I might take a look.
I'll take Amari Cooper for a bologna sandwich and some Ruffles.
Oh, damn.
I have zero interest. Zero interest.
Yeah, pass.
Wow, I'm on an island on that one.
Ooh,
Yes,
we have
bring
some
Amari.
superstition here from Alpha and Omega Forever. There's a trend that's been happening. The host city that hosted WrestleMania, and we all know that Vegas just hosted this in Allegiant Stadium, have gone on to make the playoffs lately. Don't
Oh.
believe me? Look it up.
I'm
Okay.
drinking that Kool-Aid out for me.
I love it.
I'll take it.
Hey, that's just more Kool-Aid for me, man. Now I'm gonna be quoting that like, oh, we had WrestleMania, baby, playoffs.
So I just want to bring up something real quick, and I talked about it during the draft show, but April just kept saying that the same old Raiders, same old narrative, et cetera, et cetera. We talked about it during the draft show. The decisions this team has made in the offseason, and not just the big ones in drafting Gen T, we all love that, but I mean, I talked about it. Keeping Patrick Graham as a defensive coordinator was huge. Keeping Rob Leonard to coach that defensive line was huge.
Yes.
We just brought in Denver Broncos senior scouting director as our new assistant
GM. Yeah.
That's a huge move. I mean, we're not doing the same old stuff where we're just tearing everything down.
Yeah, I'm not mad at the Chip Kelly.
We're building something here, and it's right. It's going to take a few years, but we're in the process of building something. We're doing it the right way.
I guess I'll be the only one not surprised if we get some immediate gratification.
Well said. Elaborate.
I don't think I'd be surprised if we get some immediate gratification this year. That doesn't mean I think we're making a Super Bowl run, but I wouldn't be surprised if we got a solid double.
Well, I would actually like you, both of you, to elaborate on, Scotty and Omar, to elaborate on this immediate gratification. I mean, as we know, the bar is low. They haven't made the playoffs in 3 years. And besides that 1 year, of course, they went in there. But it really has been a good 10 years since they've really shown any real promise, I think. So since the bar is kind of low here, what is immediate gratification? Like if we end up with a 500, is that going to satisfy you? Like, what do you elaborate on that for me?
Having something to play for at the end of the season.
For me, immediate gratification is 11 wins. Wow. If we get 11 wins, I'm like, okay, all right, we're on something here. We're on something here. It's hard to say playoff. It's hard to say playoff because it goes by how many wins you get. You can get 11 wins and may not get in the playoffs. I mean, I guess that's possible. So, you know, I can't gauge it by playoffs. But if we're in there and we're fighting at the end, where it's, you know, do or die, you got to win this game to get into the playoffs. That's immediate gratification to me.
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. Compete.
Yeah,
we're in the end competing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So,
yeah, like I said, I think if we have something to play for at the end of the season, playoff push, even if it came down to the last game and we didn't get in, it was a win and get in last game of the season, dude, that would be immediate gratification. That would be a good season. That would be an exciting season to me, man. You know,
yeah,
I mean,
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
And what? Well, when was the last time we felt that? Was that when Bisaccia, you know, and we knew we didn't make it and we lost in the first one, but that was the last bit of excitement we had. You know what I mean?
To get in.
Yeah. So I would call playoff push some immediate gratification.
Yeah,
I would agree with that. And I want to give a shout out to Chris here. Chris for Raiders Podcast. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate you for the super chat. He says, too many Mark Davis bad hires have left a nasty taste in our mouth. This is true. I think we all suffer from a little bit of Raiders PTSD. So I think that maybe where April's coming from, I've been there for many years, but I am honestly seeing some sort of change this year. So I am very hopeful. And thank you again for the super chat. We appreciate you. Go ahead. Make sure you go over after this show and subscribe to his channel as well. Chris for Raiders Podcast. We appreciate you, my friend. Let's see. Let's get to some more of these comments here because we've had some really good ones. Let me just scroll back up. I know we're going to get back up here just a little bit. What do you think of this? He might just be throwing this out there to mess with us, but Rodrigo says sign Keenan Allen.
I love it.
Go ahead, Arthur.
So I love it. I've been saying it since the pre-draft. I mean, I think he's a smart receiver that can come in and help some of these young wide receivers. Do I think he's going to be, our wide receiver one or anything? Absolutely not. But once again, just bringing in a guy that can teach and can take a young wide receiver room and teach them to be professionals is a smart move. You can get him for the bologna sandwich you were just talking about, Scotty. So I mean,
same bologna sandwich we can get for what's his name, huh?
Let's face it, he grew up a Raider fan. He grew up a Raider fan, so I mean that's another big thing. I mean, whether you talk about relationships, but I just think that he could come in and immediately make that wide receiver room better.
Well, he's a veteran, and I wouldn't mind having Keenan Allen, but it seems like they're going a different way, and I don't think he fits what's there right now. Would I mind if he gets signed on the right contract? No, I would, but I don't think he fits the program that they're in right now.
Has everyone given up on Jacoby Meyer being wide receiver one?
No, absolutely not.
No. Okay. All right.
I don't think so.
That boy's got hands, and he can.
I don't think so. I just think people want to see more weapons. And they want to see competition. We want to see more weapons. We want to have options. I'm also not giving up on Trey Tucker. I don't think so. I think we just know that we need those wide receivers. We need multiple wide receivers, and we want them to do well. So I think it's got to be like the best men, because it's going to be several are going to win. But no, I don't think I'm going to give up. Ana Diaz, thanks for being a longtime member of the show. We appreciate you. Good evening to you, Travis. Little plug here. I just need to know when home opener is so I can book my Vegas trip. Well, here you go. So I'm just going to tell you. I'm going to tell you right now. If you watch the show on next Wednesday, May 14th, when we do the prediction show, I'm already going to be raffling off my tickets for the home openers. Viewers will get a special entry fee to win those 2 tickets for the home opener. So make sure you tune in for details. I will release it on social media after the show. The price will be higher to enter than it will be watching the show. So Travis, if you're interested, and everyone else who's interested, I'm going to announce what the entry deal is for our viewers. And members like you are, Travis, members are going to get an even special entry fee. So all the members will be able to be eligible for that as well. So Chris, thank you again. And who's going to be the first people to grab these? He had just gifted 5 for life, our story membership. Speaking of that, you could be gifted by Chris here the opportunity for perks like entering for these raffle at a special membership fee. So Chris, thank you. He did that last week as well. We appreciate you. Thank you for doing it again. We love your support and just viewership, and for this as well. So much love and respect to you, my friend. All right. So got through the little plug there. We have Rodrigo saying he's done with Trey Tucker. So maybe people aren't giving up on Jacoby, but maybe some people are giving up on Trey. That seems like an early
very early.
Can you have too many deep threats?
Right, exactly. Yeah, 100%. I agree. Yeah, I'm still a big fan of Trey Tucker.
I'm like, I can, scribble up a few plays where, 1 minute I got 2 tight ends in, and then the next minute I got 2 deep threats in. Hey, 2 guys that can run the post, and then, just going back and forth, man. That'll be pretty exciting. Yeah. Sure. I need to call Chip Kelly right now.
Just track you all day.
Hey, read my chalkboard. I got something. See, I just hold on real quick, guys. I want to give credit to this because this is important, and our subscribers and our viewers are everything to this show. So thank you for gifting those. The recipients of those were Space Beast, Dark BL, Charm City J, and Protect the Shield. Chris, thank you. All right. So we appreciate you, Chris, for Raiders Podcast, and good job to all the recipients there. So the time has flown by. I just realized we only have like 5 minutes left of the show. So go ahead, guys. Any final thoughts? It's okay to drink the Kool-Aid, After so many bad seasons, that's all I was left with in the offseason was Kool-Aid. So I take it proudly, I get optimistic, and I'm fucking go Raiders. We're going all the way every year until we don't.
I might have to get that shirt.
Until we don't? Until we don't? You mean until we do?
The PTSD part. That's the PTSD talking right there. All right.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't even see you half the time. I think whatever you're drinking's got you going in and out. You drinking something special, Arthur?
I just said it
Any
before.
last thoughts? Final thoughts?
Absolutely. We're building something. It's going to take some time. We got to be patient, but we're definitely going in the right direction. You guys talked about it last week on the show. You guys gave it an A draft. I gave it a B+. There were a couple things I might have changed. Maybe one thing I might have changed about that draft for sure. But we're definitely heading in the right direction. Like I said, the things that we've done that haven't made the big splash are huge. And you got to understand that as Raider fans, like I said, we've done a lot of good things. They're really big that might not be really splashy to the normal Raider fan, but I'm telling you right now, there's some big moves that we've made. And like I said, we're just heading in the right direction.
Yep. Definitely agree with that one.
You know, as a final thought,
right.
You know, we've gone out and we've hired, you know, this coaching staff and, you know, re-signed some people on the coaches. And then we get this flashy running back, you know, from Boise State. And I think we're missing something. So I'm going to go out on record right now and say to the Raiders, if they're listening to me, and to all you guys, we need to hire Marshawn Lynch as the tapper. You tap Carroll on the shoulder when you're on the goal line to give it to Genty. Hire that man just for that. That's what I'm going on. That's what we need right there.
Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it.
We need a tapper. This should be Marshawn.
Man. That's a Super Bowl lesson, man. He lost the Super Bowl. I don't think he'll ever forget that.
Definitely. And a question to you guys. Mother Moon had actually brought this up. Do you think that we're going to see more of a presence of Beast Mode we've already seen more of a presence of him in the building, but do you think he'll have an actual role with this team? Because he is kind of the one guy who kind of fuses both the Raiders and the Pete Carroll aspect together a little bit.
Oh, I 100% think we are. And it's for the reason that you just said. Plus, now you got a running back who runs very similarly to Marshawn Lynch.
And looks up to him, yeah.
I think they're already kind of linked up. And if you think Marshawn Lynch isn't bending his ear, you know, oh, hey, watch this, look at this, do that. Oh, man, I think he's going to love that role. I think Genty's going to benefit from that role. And I hope that happens.
And once again, if that's something that's happening, then that's just another thing that is behind the scenes that the average Raider fan doesn't see, that is going to help this team get better. It's just another decision of this regime saying, hey, we need to bring in a guy like Marshawn Lynch to pair him with Genty to let him see things that maybe he's not seeing in the NFL yet. So it's just another good decision to bring in somebody to make this team better.
If I see Marshawn Lynch sitting on the sideline with the iPad or whatever, with Genty on his side, and he's pointing, I will be happier than shit.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
And I think Marshawn is filling in that culture void that AP brought.
Sure.
I mean, for real. So definitely we'll see.
Yeah, that's true.
Beast Mode a lot more.
That is true, and he could be the rah-rah guy because he doesn't actually have a position of being the head coach. So kind of like Mother Moon had said right here, to your point, Omar, Marshawn brings the real Oakland aspect, which is what we were looking at. So we hear the culture talk all the time. So, you know, we would love to have the culture of what we know as the Raiders, as LA and Oakland fans. But we also want to have the culture of what the Raiders used to be and just win, baby, and commitment to excellence. So maybe with Pete Carroll and Marshawn Lynch, we can fuse those two together and get back to what the real Raiders, like Al Davis speaks about, are all about, like you said at the top of the show, Omar. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Remember, light that torch, hit that like button. I want to thank AK for joining us on the show tonight. I want to thank April for joining us on camera on the show tonight. I want to thank Chris for the super chat and for gifting the the memberships as well. Again, make sure to subscribe to his channel, Chris for Raiders Podcast. And we will see you next week at 6 o'clock Wednesday, the Spicy Shield Talk, May 14th, for the schedule release prediction show. And we will be starting the raffle, I should say, for those 2 home opener tickets. All right, everybody. Raider Nation, you know we go out one way and only one way.
Raiders! Peace.
All right. Good night, everybody.